last year, we've been real busy. Just like a lot of other states, we've been working on modernization efforts. A lot of our agencies are starting to modernize the legacy applications, some of which has been in our data center for the past 20, 30 years. So it's time to do some modernization efforts on there. Really a big effort on collaboration. A lot of working with not only our agency partners, because Mississippi is a federated, decentralized state. So we're really working hard on that collaboration between the agencies. And a real big push on new innovative technologies, especially dealing with cloud and Internet of Things, pushing forward to innovative technologies, bringing things together. Some of the modernization efforts that I talked about is Department of Revenue. We completed their tax revenue collection system. And this is really the first one that we've been successful. There's been several in the past that didn't go so well, but this one was a very good success. So the staff at the Department of Revenue was very successful, did an outstanding job with that. Another one comes to mind is the Department of Human Services. Okay, they're doing some re-platforming of legacy systems and more modern technologies, kind of getting off of the old mainframe systems into some more modern platforms, so they can do some more interfaces with the public to make it more user-friendly, to engage citizens, things like that. And also the Department of Public Safety, big effort for driver's license modernization. They're in the end of that process. That's been a multi-year process. They've done a really good job. They're a great partner, and this is going to be a great benefit to the state. And also, we've been working on cloud. Very big topic for us. Pushing that. How can we be cloud enabled? How can we do it? We're not on the bleeding edge of technology. We're not behind. We're State Central IT. We try to bridge that gap of fostering innovation, but also leveraging the benefits of OWL. So we're looking at all our applications. Can we make the cloud available to our state? We're going forward. You got to look at the top priorities. Cyber is always going to be at the top. Cybersecurity is top for the state of Mississippi. We continue to push forward cybersecurity for user awareness. I mean, it seems like by now everybody would know everything about cybersecurity, but that's still the top priority for us. And making simple things. U.S. Search says 85% of targets that were attacked could be mitigated by simple things, the fundamental practices, patching, changing passwords, things like that. So we're constantly working on those priorities going forward for cybersecurity, just getting back to the basics, the fundamentals. And there's a lot of advanced stuff we're working on too, but we really work cybersecurity to keep the basics at bay. Also, moving forward, priorities coming up is an enterprise strategy, mainly focused around enterprise architecture. The state, is decentralized and federated model, so we're working towards a centralized governance, a centralized enterprise architecture to align the state's goals with technology decisions. A lot of times technology decisions are based off technology itself, based off just hey, there's a new thing out there, let's go do it, let's spend the money and make it work. And sometimes we've been very successful, we're fortunate there. But what we want to do is set a statewide strategy across all agencies to a common framework, a common infrastructure, a common set of things everybody can move forward in working towards aligning the statewide goals with all technology decisions. And getting down to more specific, project next year would be DR, disaster recovery modernization. We're working on that. We're still using legacy systems, so we're working on a completely revamped upload, transport of how we do that. And we don't know. We're walking through the process. It's going to definitely be some type of modernized way to do it, cloud-based, co-location efforts. Right now, we're still doing the legacy, traditional way of doing disaster recovery, and the speed of applications, the speed of business, before being able to recover an agency's applications in 36, 72 hours was acceptable. In today's technology, today's world, that's just not. So our agencies and our citizens are expecting RPOs and RTOs, recovery time objectives, within minutes. And so that's one of our top priorities coming up next year. The greatest threat to our agency and to the state is the digital transformation of business. Business is transformed to this digital era. In our state, as other states are experiencing this digital transformation, which means the threat landscape for cybersecurity is expanding. Traditional boundaries of cybersecurity is not the same as what they were a year, 5, 10 years ago. Completely different. There's a wholly different threat landscape out there. So we're addressing the needs. The boundaries aren't there, so how can we get with this threat? The Internet of Things. we talk about. Agencies are using Internet of Things as they should to foster that innovation of new technologies, but it also could present new cybersecurity threats. And without addressing that, I feel like that's one of our biggest threats of cybersecurity going forward, is getting our hands wrapped around this new digital landscape. So we are modernization. We are transforming our digital government into a digital landscape. With that, we need to adjust our digital cyber program as well to respond to these digital threats, because the traditional, there may be interactions with vendors, other agencies, private, public partnerships that the traditional boundaries are now infused into our organization, and we have to respond to that threat. And we're working on a strategy and some policies around that will be one of our threats going forward. That's a really good question, because a lot of states struggle with fostering new innovation with the restraints of traditional government operations. So what we try to attack it is with collaboration. Collaboration is a real big thing for our agencies, collaboration with all our other state agencies. A good example is we set up something we call the CIO Council, and we use it topically to talk about different new technologies. One good example of how it just recently was used with Office 365. We set up a CIO Council, brought in all the chief information officers across the state agencies, and collaboratively together we worked towards the policies, regulations, and procurement of what it took to implement Office 365. And this past year, we've completed that process, and we're still pushing forward. We're getting the entire state on Office 365. Going forward, we're setting up two new CIO councils, one on cloud CIO Advisory Technical Committee, and also on network modernization. And the Cloud Council is really an innovative process, bringing in the CIOs again, talk about what does cloud mean to the state, how can the state use it, what are some of the regulations, and how can we move forward with that. And also we have strategic partnerships with our vendors, as most other states do, and work that out. And also we have a real good relationship with our research universities in the state. We have some really good research universities. They're working on different technologies, and we partner with them. The technologies that they bring into that they're researching and doing innovative work on, how can we best use that for government? How can we use that technology to transform our state, Mississippi, into a digital government of the future? Well, we're state government. In any kind of government, there's challenges of the speed of government, balancing with the speed of IT. The speed of IT is changing very, very rapidly. It's a landscape out there, and our citizens are expecting new innovative services, faster delivery of those services, and more ways to integrate them with their cell phones, tablets, and their houses. And they want government not to be traditional four walls that it used to be. Government, it doesn't move as fast typically, and also we're restrained by budget. So balancing those new innovations with budget is an issue that we face. And Mississippi is a federated and a decentralized state, so every agency has unique budgets to tackle their own goals, and most of them do a very good job. They work very, very good with us, great relationship, but fostering that innovation, that agency collaboration is one of the things how we dealt with that. We know we're on a budget crunch, we know we didn't deliver faster services, so how we dealt with that is working with the agencies and bringing a collective, collaborative approach. If one agency can implement a technology that could be useful for the entire state, we partner with them and allow other agencies to use that as well. And also, a challenge to us in the future is going to be talent, because we are state government. You know, we can't compete with the private sector. Never have been, and I don't think we will. In this new workforce, millennials, they move around a little bit more. You know, so it's hard to keep that talent in. Number one, it's hard to recruit them, and once we get them, we train them, because the uniqueness of state government work is they're exposed to a lot of technologies they can't get anywhere else. Train them up, and the chances are they may go somewhere else. So there's a challenge to recruit and keep the right amount of IT talent for the state. We're working on that by exposing them with these new technologies and showing that government, the future workplace of the government, isn't the same thing as it used to be in the past. Moving forward, good technologies, good innovation, good place to work, great benefits, but that's the constant challenge we have. And to foster this agency collaboration I mentioned before was the CIO Council. That's one of our biggest things we use to help with our challenges, because it brings all the agencies together, and we go through hand in hand, step by step, all the agencies' priorities, and hopefully answer the state's questions and tackle the state's goals by using technology together.